Timta has a anuki maku nubu ayunat sagar maku shil atsekata am shil yamasi nuwabianat wahaza kalum bi uspu kalum arbidin tamed. Greetings, this is Chief Nanya Shaabu Eil of the Atsekata Nation of Yamasee Moors, and this is Weekly Word 48. This is wonderful. I just want to thank the United States Treasury, what they did on Thursday, January 12th of the Gregorian calendar by issuing this coin. And we're going to get to that in a second. I just want everybody to take a good look at this. This is so revealing in so many ways. And we put the power of the white woman. White, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. American Indian, or Alaska Native, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of North and South America, including Central America, who maintains cultural identification through tribal affiliation or community attachment. The U.S. Mint introduces a commemorative coin featuring a black Lady Liberty. Now this is January 13th, 2017. For the first time in the nation's history, Lady Liberty will be depicted as non-white. Here comes the game because of the SF-181. In celebration of the Mint's 225th anniversary, the 2017 American Liberty Gold coin features a black woman. Pay attention to that. The $100 gold coin is the first in a series of coins featuring women of color. So this is another view of it. NBC News reports. For the first time, Lady Liberty will be depicted as a woman of color on U.S. currency. Now notice, NBC says woman of color. They don't call her black. For the first time, Lady Liberty will be depicted as a woman of color on U.S. currency in celebration of the U.S. Mint and Treasury's 225th anniversary, the new 100 coin. Now, Alexis V. Claudio, the new coin portrays Lady Liberty as a black woman wearing a crown of stars. Hashtag Lady Liberty. This is a Twitter feed, and now we're getting into the actual unveiling that they did at the U.S. Mint. Here's a full size of the blow-up or enlargement of the coin, what it looks like on the front. And this is the back, so this is heads and this is tails. And it's the first in a series that will feature designs representing Lady Liberty as Asian American, Hispanic American, and Indian American. Now we know where they got this from. When we go over here to the U.S. Treasury's direct press release, Department of the Treasury officials joined United States Mint for unveiling of 2017 American Liberty 225th anniversary gold coin. Washington, D.C. Treasury Secretary Jacob Lew, Deputy Treasury Secretary Sarah Bloom Raskin, and United States Mint Principal Deputy Director Rhett Jepson today unveiled designs for the 2017 American Liberty 225th anniversary gold coin in the historic Department of the Treasury's cash room. The ceremony, led by Mint Chief of Staff Elisa Bass-Knight, kicked off a year-long series of events in celebration of the Mint's 225th anniversary in 2017. We are very proud of the fact that the United States Mint is rooted in the Constitution, said Principal Deputy Director Jepson. We know that statement is going to come back to haunt them. Our quote, our founding fathers realized the critical need for our fledgling nation to have a respected monetary system, and over the last 225 years, the Mint has never failed in its mission. The 2017 American Liberty 225th anniversary gold coin is unique in that it portrays Liberty as an African American woman, a departure from previous classic designs. So, what did Barack Obama say on Tom Joyner? So Tom Joyner interviews President Barack Obama on his Tom Joyner Morning Show and greets him by saying it's our first black president of the United States. President Obama replies, Tom, I don't look at myself as the first black president because the word black has no standing at law. Okay, continuing on. the National Center for Education Statistics, which is endorsed by the U.S. Department of Education, states black or African American, a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. So going back here, Alexis V. Claudio, because you happen to be, I think it said you were a writer, a hashtagger, Sino-Ectogamut, Afro-Latina. As an Afro-Latina, you should know the definitions. Black is a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. There are no black racial groups of Africa. White is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. So the U.S. Mint and the U.S. Treasury made a mistake by calling her a woman of color, which she is, but they called her black. Barack says here, black has no standing at law. The National Center for Education Statistics proves this is definitions for new race and ethnicity categories, and they specify the categories do not denote scientific definitions of anthropological origins. So this coin that you're looking at, what was her name again? Alexis V. Claudio, is a white woman. That's what the Mint was supposed to have done. That's why we have this here, because this is what the U.S. National Center for Education Statistics, the Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System, the U.S. Department of Education. This is really a white woman, not a black woman, nor an African American woman. Continuing on, when we go to ACRO, which is Advancing Global Higher Education, they have the same definitions for race and ethnicity as endorsed by the U.S. Department of Education. You go down and you'll see the same definition: black or African American, a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. White is a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Now when we go to the demographics of ACRO, we will see the institutional members by country outside of the U.S. Right? This is also addressing those who want to call themselves Black Lives Matter in Canada, that 80% of the membership of the institutional members, 80% of them are from Canada. You don't see anybody with more than 5 here. You see Egypt, Germany, Grenada, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Switzerland, American Samoa, Belize. They're all at 1 and 2, 1 and 2. The most that you see that has 3 is Saudi Arabia. And you have United Kingdom, of course, can't forget them. So 80% of the institutional members are from Canada, and that means they know that this is a white woman. This is, according to the definition, this is a white woman, not a black woman. Black means to make pale. Further thinking, the U.S. Department of the Treasury and the U.S. Mint is the United Nations, Zeid Al-Hussein, who's the High Commissioner for Human Rights. He calls on business leaders to stand up for human rights at their forum that they're going to be having this week. So Zeid Al-Hussein asked for all the business leaders gathering at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos next week to use their considerable influence to stand up for human rights and prevent rights violations in countries where they operate. Does anybody realize that this coin being issued and they're calling her African American is a rights violation? Because she's being misidentified.
I just realized with the numbers there, 1792, 2017, the 1, 7, and 2 repeat in both except for the 9.
Yes.
Melaninites are 9 ether beings. And this is the 225th year, 225 equals 9, so 999.
And 1792 gives you 19.
Mm-hmm.
So 19, 9, 19 and 9 is 28. And 1, and if you add the 7, 8, and 8, 28 and 8 gives you 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. So this proves now we have the definitions from the iPads, a crow, we have the institutional membership. We've said this before, and we'll continue to keep repeating this. The whole world knows we are white based on the based on the definition which is pertaining to corporations and status, not dealing with skin color. There's nothing to do with skin color. When we go to the UN, Article 33, indigenous peoples have the right to determine their own identity and or membership in accordance with their customs and traditions. This does not impair the right of indigenous individuals to obtain citizenship of the states in which they live. 2, indigenous peoples have the right to determine the structures and to select the membership of their institutions in accordance with their own procedures. So when we go to Article 3, it says indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely pursue their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. When we go to the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, which was passed June 15, 2016, we go to Article 1. Section 1, Article 1. The American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples applies to the indigenous peoples of the Americas. 2, self-identification as indigenous peoples will be a fundamental criteria for determining to whom this declaration applies. The states shall respect the right to such self-identification as indigenous, individually or collectively, in keeping with the practices and institutions of each indigenous peoples. So when we go back to the definition as outlined in the National Center for Education Statistics, known as the iPads, and we look at the definitions, there are no such thing as black or African American. There are no black racial groups of Africa. They're non-existent. White is what you need to call yourself. So again, I want to give gratitude and appreciation for the U.S. Treasury acknowledging the fact. And they're putting it out there because they know black people are stupid, and black, yes, you're stupid. Because the government is telling you here in the definition, a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa, there are none. Yet there are peoples for what? American Indian. There are peoples for Asian, original peoples of American Indian, original peoples of white, original peoples of Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander. Notice there is no peoples for Hispanic or Latino. A person of Cuban, Mexican, Puerto Rican, South or Central American or other Spanish culture or origin, regardless of race. They didn't call them Hispanic or Latino as not a people. So for all you Latinos out there, you're not a people. Everyone else in American Indian or Alaska Native is a people. Asian is a people. Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander is a people. White is a people, but not black or African American, and not Hispanic or Latino. That shows you they're targeting the dark-skinned Latinos, the dark-skinned Hispanic. Alright, so white, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. So, this shows that the world knows we are white. And I just want to make sure I'm in the shot here with the coin. This also proves that all those who call themselves African American, pro-black, all of that nonsense, you all have no clue. And the Treasury is putting the image in front of your face, and you'll still call yourself a slave. And they're putting it on a gold coin at that, saying you're white, you're a creditor. Like Martin Luther King said, the Negro, what is a exile in his own land? By them putting that on the liberty and putting liberty, freedom, legally defined as freedom, the freedom comes through what? The Melaninite woman, which is a white woman, not This is the white woman. That's what a white woman is, right here. So, all the pro-black power and all the rest of them Pan-Africanists, you need to get with the international definitions. That's how you're going to access international protections, human rights, etc. Black is a trap. Black is whack. And this is also a reason why black media will not talk about this, because they're bought and paid for. Good bought and paid for Chavez Goy. That's why they won't talk about this. Because what this means is they will no longer be able to stay on the plantation. They'll have to leave. So with that, I want to give gratitude again and appreciation to the U.S. Treasury for putting this image out, because the Treasury knows who the white woman is, the real white woman is. They know exactly who the white woman is. And by them doing this, this is an acknowledgement that, and proves, this coin proves black has no standing at law. And with that, this is Weekly Word 48. Abyud Gadur, Abyud Gadur, Abyud Gadur, which means white power, white power, white power,